You enter without a word. No eyes meet yours. No welcome, no promise, only pressure in the air, a storm waiting to break. Tonight the master stands alone. He has written the laws. He has survived the crowd. But tonight is different. Tonight, silence is not power, it is the sound of doubt. Every step echoes in a room where nothing is safe. He built his legend on seeing what others missed. He trusted distance. He trusted restraint. He believed presence alone could hold back betrayal. But no mask is perfect. No mind is immune to pride. Around him faces shift. Loyalty softens. Alliances bend. The coldest strategist feels the room tilt, just slightly, enough to matter. This is the lesson never celebrated. History remembers victories, not the second before control breaks. Power hides its limits. It waits. Then it exposes them all at once. Even the architect of survival can misread the moment. Even the rare can be outplayed. If you want the law that survives when strategy fails, if you want to understand the mistake legends never admit, subscribe now. Tonight the master is no longer the teacher. Tonight he becomes the warning. He stands at the center, but every movement feels exposed. Years spent building distance, every gesture calculated, every word measured, now seem useless. He became a legend for surviving the game, for seeing every angle. People said he could not be caught. They believed he could not lose. He wore his reputation like armor. Princes borrowed his lines. Enemies feared his silence. Alliances were shaped by his law. He moved through courts and back rooms, always one step ahead. He built a wall no crowd could cross. But legends attract hunters. The higher you rise, the more they wait for your stumble. No mask stays flawless forever. A single missed detail, a single crack can invite the storm. Tonight that storm circles. Old allies trade glances. Favors are remembered then forgotten. Rumors take root and silence is no longer respected but feared. He realizes that power never rests. It is always being tested. Even the rarest player cannot escape the hunger of the crowd. Invincibility is a story people tell until the ending changes. The lesson, no shield is unbreakable. The master of power is now the most vulnerable man in the room. He chose his hero carefully. Cesare Borgia, ruthless, brilliant, feared. Machiavelli saw in him the living proof that strategy and cruelty could build an empire. Borgia conquered lands with violence and cunning. He manipulated rivals, silenced threats, and bent fate to his will. Every ruler wanted to know Borgia's secret. How did he survive when others vanished? How did he make chaos obey? Machiavelli followed his rise, recording every move. He believed he had found the perfect model, the prince who never showed weakness, who ruled with cold hands. Every lesson in his doctrine pointed to Borgia's style. Act fast, trust few, keep enemies close, and punish betrayal without mercy. But legends can be illusions. Borgia's power rested on shadows, on the protection of his father, the Pope. His empire was not carved from iron but from favors, borrowed loyalties, and the fragile trust of men who feared his wrath. Then came the moment no one expected. The Pope died. In a single stroke, Borgia's world collapsed. Allies vanished, enemies circled. The empire of fear melted away. Machiavelli watched the fall. The master plan failed. The prince became a prisoner of the very law he had written. Admiration turned to warning. The flaw. Even the greatest strategy is powerless when its foundation belongs to someone else. Borgia's legend cracked. So did the certainty behind every law. He always believed in action. Move first. Strike before the world can strike you. Virtù, force of character, unbending will, the ability to seize a moment before it passes. This was his weapon. He watched as the weak waited for luck. He saw rulers collapse because they hoped fate would be kind. He taught, The rare do not wait. They create their own destiny. They shape chaos with cold hands. But every law has an enemy. Fortune moves in silence. It does not warn. It does not beg for attention. It watches while you plan, then turns everything upside down. Even the boldest plans fall apart in a storm. One death and an empire built on strength shatters. One rumor and alliances break. Power built over years can vanish in hours. He tried to outsmart fortune. He adjusted. He anticipated. He changed direction when danger approached. But fortune moves in ways no mind can predict. In the end, it is not just about what you do. It is about what you cannot see coming. Every master, no matter how rare, faces a moment when action is not enough. The eternal struggle never ends. Virtue fights to control. Fortuna waits to remind you no one is truly in command. He trusted himself too much. He believed his mind was sharper than any sword. He thought no one could surprise him. Every victory fed the illusion. Each close escape felt like proof. He started to think the game belonged to him. He measured threats. He doubted friends. He questioned every word spoken in the dark. But he stopped questioning his own steps. That was the crack. He believed his silence was enough. He believed rivals would always fear his shadow. He believed the next move would wait for him. But the room had changed. The faces were not the same. Overconfidence is quiet. It hides inside habits. It grows with each small win. It blinds you to slow changes. It makes you miss new dangers. He did not see loyalty fading. He did not see trust souring into envy. He did not notice who watched or who waited. It was not a rival who broke him. It was the routine. It was the comfort. He let caution drift away. He thought he was above the law, he wrote. The fatal mistake was simple. He forgot that the game changes. He forgot that pride is the most silent enemy. When the fall came, it was not a surprise attack. It was a door left open by his own hand. He picked his model. He found a prince who seemed untouchable. He watched Borgia rise, watched him rule through fear and charm. He admired his moves, the speed, the confidence, the cruelty. He called him the perfect example. He wrote his laws around a living man. But admiration is dangerous. It narrows your vision. It hides the flaws you refuse to see. Borgia's empire looked solid from the outside. Inside, it was built on another man's power. It was built on favors, not on stone. He missed the warnings. He ignored the signs. He wanted a hero so badly that he made one out of shadows. Borgia's victories looked permanent. His ruthlessness seemed to guarantee control. But all the strength belonged to the Pope. All the enemies waited in silence. When the Pope fell, the mask fell too. All the walls Borgia built vanished in days. Blind admiration became a trap. The laws written for one man could not protect him from the truth. No model is perfect. No legend is safe from collapse. The flaw, loving an example too much to see it, could never last. He wrote the warning with his own hand. He told others, "Never trust fortune. Rely on yourself. Depend on your will, not on luck. Be ready for the day everything changes." He studied how rulers fell. He saw how fast fortune can shift. He watched allies turn, riches disappear, kingdoms crumble. But in his own story, the lesson faded. He grew comfortable with the world he built. He began to think his strategy was enough. He started to think caution was for others. Every instinct said prepare for loss. Every law said build something that survives storms. But the victories made him slow. The routine made him soft. He began to trust his position. He forgot how quickly the ground moves. When trouble arrived, it was sudden. The alliances were gone. The doors were closed. He found himself alone, wondering when the safety disappeared. He warned others to be ready for fortune's turn. He forgot to listen to his own advice. He trusted in a world that could never be controlled. This is the warning he ignored. What you say can save others, but what you forget to do can destroy you. The rarest failure is not ignorance. It is forgetting your own law. He built the rules he taught others to distrust, to hold secrets, to test every promise. For years he controlled the room. He knew every weakness. He made alliances, then broke them. He kept friends close, but never too close. But the game changed. New rivals watched him. They learned fast. Old allies grew tired of his distance. Whispers started. Moves became harder to predict. His own methods were used against him. His silence was now a warning, not a shield. His caution made people uneasy. People stopped confiding. They started plotting. He did not see it coming. He thought the same strategies would protect him. He missed the signals. He believed habit was safety. But habits make you predictable. Someone was always watching. Someone found the pattern. They set the trap using his own tactics. Suddenly, he was not the master. He was the pawn. The rules twisted. What once protected him now isolated him. He was outplayed by his own game. No attack, no open enemy, just slow, cold moves in the shadows. He had become a victim of the system he designed. The master found himself lost on his own chessboard. The doors closed behind him. He stood alone. No title, no command. The city he shaped moved on without him. Stripped of power, he lost his voice. His allies disappeared. His name brought silence, not respect. Once, everyone listened. Now, no one cared. Exile was not loud. It was quiet, cold, final. His words carried no weight. His warnings meant nothing. Torture broke the body, failure broke the spirit, days blurred together, walls replaced the halls of power. He wrote letters no one answered. He watched rivals fill the seats he once controlled. The architect of law became a ghost. Authority vanished overnight. Fame faded faster. No strategy could return what was lost. He learned what it means to be forgotten. Exile is a teacher without mercy. It shows how quickly the world moves on. He was once feared. Now he was ignored. The master of power had no power left. He understood too late. You can design the laws, but you cannot stop the world from erasing your name. He sat alone. He wrote by candlelight. His world was smaller now. Each word felt heavier. He filled page after page. He remembered every mistake. He relived every lost moment. He saw where trust failed. He saw where caution slipped. He tried to explain what he missed. He wanted to warn others. He hoped someone would listen. His laws felt different now. No comfort, no pride, only regret. He watched others rise. He watched new faces make old mistakes. He could not reach them. He could not change their fate. Every lesson was painted with loss. Every warning was written in pain. He tried to shape the future. He tried to leave a map, but regret stayed in every line. He looked back too often. He could not move forward. He wanted to matter again. He wanted his voice to be heard. Regret is quiet. It follows you. It colors every memory. He learned too late. Words cannot change the past. Regret remains long after the world forgets your name. He trusted logic. He believed people would act for power. He thought self-interest ruled every heart. He mapped alliances. He tracked ambition. He built his laws around what should happen. But people are not always predictable. Loyalty can twist overnight. Fear can hide beneath a smile. Love can change the game. Hate can burn longer than reason. Old friends turned silent. Rivals forgave, then betrayed again. New players entered with hidden motives. No law could predict a broken promise. No system could see a secret grudge. He learned too late. Some betray for nothing. Some forgive out of pity. Some wait years just to watch you fall. Feelings cannot be ruled. Desires shift. Memories linger. His rules worked for chess pieces, not people. He saw the cracks too late. He missed the quiet warning signs. Power is not just cold calculation. It is risk, emotion, memory. The human variable is always there. It waits for pride. It punishes certainty. Even the master was surprised by the hearts around him. The game was never just about rules, it was about people. Unpredictable, silent, always watching. He believed in scarcity. He believed less is more. He taught that presence is power, too much, and you become ordinary. He pulled away when others begged for attention. He let people miss him. He made absence his secret weapon. For years this law worked. He was not seen often. He was talked about more than he was heard. People waited for his words. When he appeared, it meant something. But absence is not always strength. Too much distance becomes silence. Too much silence becomes erasure. He stayed away too long. The city moved on. Old allies found new voices. His legend faded in the gaps he left behind. He did not see the shift. He thought he could return at any time. He believed people would always remember, but time is never still. Absence can build mystery. Absence can also build indifference. He tried to reclaim what was lost. He sent letters. He waited for calls. No answer came. He became a myth, then a memory. Scarcity must be measured. Presence must be timed. If you vanish too long, you vanish for good. Power fades if no one feels it. A name forgotten is a lesson for all who chase legend. He learned it too late. You must know when to disappear and when to return. Otherwise, your absence writes your ending for you. He trusted silence. He believed words were weakness. He taught that restraint commands respect, that the quiet man unsettles the room. For a long time it worked. He spoke less. Others spoke for him. Rumors grew. His name carried weight without effort, but silence has a limit. There is a moment when quiet no longer intimidates. There is a moment when it invites replacement. He stayed silent while others moved. He waited while alliances formed without him. He watched power shift from a distance. He thought restraint was discipline. He thought patience was control. He believed the room would wait. It did not. Silence stopped being strategy. It became absence. Absence became weakness. Weakness became permission. Others spoke louder. Others filled the gap. They told new stories. They wrote new rules. He tried to return. But silence cannot shout. It cannot interrupt momentum. It cannot reclaim attention once it is lost. What once made him feared now made him invisible. The room no longer listened for his voice. It had learned to function without him. This is the danger of restraint without timing. Silence must be used, not lived in. If you stay quiet too long, the world assumes you are finished. He learned the hardest lesson. Silence can protect power, but silence can also surrender it. He always planned for trouble. He thought one step ahead. He expected betrayal. He braced for storms. But fortune does not care about plans. It arrives without warning. It turns friends into enemies. It rewards the careless and punishes the careful. One day, everything changes. He could not see the shift. It was silent. It was slow. He missed the signal. He trusted the familiar faces. He believed old habits would protect him. But fortune watches everyone. It waits for the smallest opening. It uses time as its sharpest weapon. Suddenly the ground was gone. The power he once held vanished. Doors closed, whispers grew, allies faded away. He tried to hold on, he tried to adapt. He moved his pieces, but the game had already turned. Fortune's final move is always quiet. It is not a blow, it is an absence. It is the moment when nothing answers. He stood alone, not defeated by an enemy, but erased by time and chance. He learned the truth. No strategy can last forever. Fortune always has the last word. When it moves, nothing remains the same. He believed in rules. He believed in systems. He wanted to build something that would last beyond his name. For years, the laws worked. For years, his advice echoed in the halls of power, but every law meets its end. Every system breaks. Time waits for no one. No victory is permanent. No protection lasts forever. He saw others fall. He watched empires fade. He warned about pride, about comfort, about forgetting to adapt. But in the end, his own story followed the same path. The world changed. The faces changed. New rivals rose. Old tactics grew stale. He tried to hold on. He tried to shape new rules, but nothing endures without change. Even the sharpest mind cannot stop decay. Even the rarest player cannot stay on top forever. He learned it late. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is immune to time. Every legend fades if it stands still. The last law is not control. The last law is humility. Nothing endures. Only those who accept this can begin again. This is the final lesson, the truth that haunts every legacy. This is for the rare, those who study the masters, those who crave the edge no one else sees, those who think they are beyond mistakes. The world will try to teach you comfort. It will praise your strength, then test your limits. It will lift you up, only to see if you can survive the fall. Remember, every master falls. No law is unbreakable, no shield is forever. The game rewards those who adapt. It destroys those who cling to old victories. Do not trust your legend. Do not worship your own laws. Never believe you are safe because you are rare. The higher you climb, the more eyes watch for your slip. Stay alert. Challenge your own wisdom. Question the habits that make you feel invincible. Comfort is a trap. Success is only the start of new dangers. Never stop watching for change. Never stop learning from defeat. This warning is written in loss. It is carved from the silence of the forgotten. You can be rare and still become a lesson for others. If you want to survive where legends fall, remember this. The rarest skill is humility. The sharpest power is self-doubt. Learn. Adapt. That is the warning for all who would rise. The room is empty now. The master is gone. His name, once whispered with awe, is a shadow. The laws he wrote remain. But the world has changed. He believed knowledge was a shield. He believed mastery was enough. But no one escapes time. No mind outruns fortune. No strategy defeats every enemy. His greatest mistake was not cruelty, not deception. It was thinking he was safe inside his own legend. It was trusting the law more than the world that keeps rewriting it. This is the truth most never see. Even the master becomes a warning. The lesson is not in his victories, but in his fall. Every law has its limit, every mind its blind spot. The rarest power is knowing you are never finished. If you want the edge that endures, if you want the law beyond all laws, know when to step back, know when to adapt, know when to doubt your own certainty. Tonight his story ends, but your lesson begins. If you seek the truth that even legends miss, subscribe now. The rare never stop questioning. The rare never stop learning. Let his mistake protect you. Let his ending be your beginning.